Hi, this is Arthur, and this is a summary of the story in the Archon Quest Prologue, released in Genshin Impact version 1.0. The story starts in a heavenly place. Two godlike beings, siblings, with the ability to travel between worlds are leaving their current world when another god arrives to stop them. This new god calls herself the Sustainer of Heavenly Principles and separates the travelers before sending them away. One of the travelers wakes up in the world with their powers sealed, trapping them on this world named Teyvat. 2 months after waking, the traveler meets Paimon, a floating fairy thing. Paimon directs the traveler to Mondstadt, the city of freedom governed by the Anemo Archon who controls the wind. In this world, there are 7 main gods known as the Archons. On the way over, they find a statue to the 7 gods. Touching the statue grants the traveler wind or Anemo powers, which isn't normal and only possible because the traveler is not of this world. Normally, people in this world can only gain such power after being granted a vision from the gods. A vision is a small trinket that grants elemental powers. As they head over, they see a young man dressed in green approaching a dragon. The dragon notices their presence and leaves along with the young man. The dragon leaves behind a red stone that the traveler holds onto. They then run into Amber, a member of Mondstadt's Knights of Favonius. Amber mentions that they should be careful because a dragon named Stormterror has been seen in the area. They head to Mondstadt City where Amber gives them a wind glider. Just then, Stormterror attacks the city and the traveler uses the wind glider to fight him in the sky. During the battle, a mysterious voice tells them that he is using the wind to help them fly. After chasing the dragon off, another Knight of Favonius named Kaya introduces himself. Kaya tells them that the Grand Master of the Knights of Favonius wants to meet them. They head over to the Knights' headquarters and meet Jean, the acting Grand Master, and Lisa, a librarian. They all come up with a plan to stop Stormterror by going to 3 of the 4 Winds temples where Stormterror draws his power. The traveler goes with Amber, Kaya, and Lisa each to a separate temple and destroys the source of Stormterror's power. After clearing the 3rd temple, the skies clear above Mondstadt. The traveler heads back to Mondstadt and sees Jean arguing with a Snezhnayan diplomat. Snezhnaya is another nation in this world that follows the god of cryo, or ice. They return to the headquarters where Lisa is analyzing the red stone from before. Turns out the stone rejects elemental energy, meaning people with visions can't get near it. The traveler, being an otherworldly being with no vision, means he can carry it. Jean also makes the traveler an honorary Knight of Favonius. As they exit the headquarters, they see the young man in green again and follow him. They catch up to the young man who introduces himself as Venti. Venti refers to Stormterror as Dvalin and says they're friends. The traveler shows Venti the red stone, but now it is blue. Venti says this is Dvalin's tears and gives the traveler another red tear which the traveler somehow purifies. Venti then says he has a plan to save Dvalin and leaves. The traveler follows him to a large tree where Venti explains that Dvalin has been corrupted and is being misled by the Abyss Order. The Abyss Order is an organization of non-humans that despise mankind. Venti also says that since the traveler interrupted his attempt to cure Dvalin before, the traveler must now go with him to steal a Holy Lyre from Mondstadt's cathedral. The hope is that the lyre can cure Dvalin. They go into the cathedral and the clergy refuse to hand it over, so they try to steal it, but a Fatui steals it first. A side note, the Fatui are a Snezhnayan organization. They escape and head to the local tavern where they meet Diluc. Venti tells Diluc the situation and Diluc decides to help. They meet later and Diluc brings Jean. They get a lead on where the Fatui are holding the lyre and go investigate. They head to the Fatui lair and retrieve the lyre. They then head back to the tavern and find that the lyre is weakened. Venti then uses Dvalin's tears to replenish the lyre's power and the gang heads out to look for more tears. They run around Mondstadt and gather more tears. The traveler purifies those tears and they replenish the lyre. They then head to Snarsnatch Cliff to play the lyre and summon Dvalin. Dvalin shows up, but so does a member of the Abyss Order who breaks the lyre. Before Dvalin leaves, he reveals that Venti is actually Barbatos, the Anemo Archon and god of Mondstadt. Without the lyre, the gang decides to track down an Abyss Mage. After defeating it, Venti somehow decodes the barrier protecting Stormterror's lair, and they decide to go confront and purify Stormterror with the Traveler's power. They head in and fight Stormterror and successfully purify him. Dvalin regains his senses and flies the gang back to Mondstadt. The next day, the traveler hangs out with Amber a bit before heading to the cathedral to return the lyre. As they're leaving the cathedral, a bunch of Fatui led by a woman ambush them and take something from Venti. The Fatui then knock them out. They wake up later and have a chat with Venti where he dumps a bunch of lore. Venti explains that visions are given to a minority of people and grant them elemental power. But the truth is that every wielder of a vision is known as an allogene, someone with the ability to obtain godhood and ascend to Celestia. Archons, however, don't need visions. Archons instead have something called a gnosis, which allows them to resonate directly with Celestia. The person who attacked them was La Signora, the 8th of the Fatui Harbingers. What she took from Venti was his gnosis. All Fatui Harbingers are people granted power by the Tsaritsa, one of 7 gods of Teyvat, like Venti. Venti also says that he doesn't know anything about the Traveler's sibling and that they should go to Liyue and ask the Geo Archon about it. And that is the end of this quest in this video. If you've liked what you've seen here, please like, comment, and subscribe.